Hi, my name is Kira Lescu and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm doing a series of videos on meditation specifically aimed at the business community. And what is meditation? Simply, it's developing the ability to focus and concentrate. And if you'd like to know more about that, please check out my earlier video. I have one just on that. Today, I'd like to talk about why you should work with a teacher. I know that there's a lot of ways that you can learn to meditate. You can get CDs on it, you can get DVDs on it, books. There's a ton of stuff on the internet. You can download video meditations, you can download audio meditations. And yes, you can get benefit out of all of those. However, I think the real true benefit, because you're actually learning an activity, you can get by working directly with a teacher. So I kind of compare this to doing sports. If you're going to learn tennis, you can just go out and pick up a tennis racket. You can start hitting the ball around. You're gonna learn a lot. You can also watch videos of good tennis players. You can watch how-to videos, and you'll get something out of that as well. However, you'll get a lot more by actually going to a class or a training session with a teacher that can give you feedback. And that's one of the biggest benefits of when you start to meditate, of working with a teacher. And especially in the early stages, although I think you can get a lot from working with a teacher one-on-one if that's what you desire and that's what works best with your schedule. I think going to a class, even if it's a small class, you can actually accelerate your learning a lot faster by working with a teacher and with class with some other students in it. That was certainly my experience. And the reason for that is when you're practicing the techniques, you're gonna have questions. What is this? Did I do this right? I had a certain experience. What does that mean? Can you explain it to me? And not only do you have that for yourself, you actually hear other people's different perspectives and they ask different questions and they may have similar observations and they may have different observations than you. And you'll learn you'll learn the techniques and what it's like to meditate a whole lot faster. There's another reason why I think it's really important to work with a teacher. And that is that it actually comes out of emotional science studies. And that there's this thing that's called brain entrainment. And what brain entrainment is that when we are communicating deeply with someone, certain sections of our brain actually start to coordinate with the other person's. And mostly it's in the emotional areas, but what happens is that the two brains actually start to synchronize and mimic one another. So if one area of the brain gets activated in one person, the same area of the brain will get activated in the other person. And this has really significant implications for learning to meditate. Because when we meditate, hopefully the teacher's brain has pathways that are memorized that are much stronger than someone who's just learning for the first time. So when you're in their field or in their experience where your brain can synchronize with their brain and their brain's trained, what the pattern is similar to learning tennis from the tennis pro, your brain can copy what their brain is doing. And it can kind of eliminate all that verbal instruction. So say when you're learning tennis, you want to move your hands in a certain way, move your posture in a certain way. Well, the tennis pro can explain that all to you, or they can just come over and adjust your body and put it in place. And when you do it that way, when the pro just comes over and puts your body in the place where it's supposed to be, your nervous system registers that and memorizes it. So the pro walks away, you go to hit the ball, and you know instantly, did I do this right, or no, I didn't do it right. And that information is very significant because now your brain is starting to learn what works and what doesn't work really fast. The pro comes over, corrects you again, you do it again, And pretty soon, at a much faster rate than if they just explained it to you, you learn that technique, because now your brain has starting to carve a pathway of right way of hitting ball, not right way of hitting ball. And even if you don't do it right all the time, it's registering the difference. So the same thing happens when you meditate. In the pathway that the brain is trying to achieve, not in the pathway the brain is trying to achieve when we meditate. So in future meditations, future videos on meditations, I'm going to be talking about some of the biology and the physiology to go into that a little bit deeper. But what I want to leave you with today is the 4 most important things, in my opinion, that you should be looking for from a teacher when you're learning to meditate. And the first is that they've meditated for quite a long time. They are still meditating now. They have trained with a competent teacher, and they're still training with a competent teacher. So just like, you know, tennis and all these other sports, of course you want someone with a history, a background of doing it. But in meditation, it's really important that the person is still meditating. And it is exactly for that brain entrainment reason. Because if they're not tracing those pathways on a regular basis, you're not going to get the same level of benefit from them. And if they want to share their experience with you, it should be current experience. Like they're still doing this, it gives an authenticity to it. So thank you very much for listening to this video and watching this video today. In future videos, I'm going to be talking about the biology and physiology, some simple techniques you can do for mindfulness and action, and just some other tidbits that I think would be very useful in you being inspired to start your own meditation practice.